Hello, it has been a minute. I filmed my last video, I think, in January. Today's June 1st. It's June 1st. I work on my bus consistently, if not every single day. It is a crawling pace because I have a full-time job that I have to keep in order to fund this build. So I am working slower than I'd like. I've collected as much footage as I possibly can, but keep in mind it's very hard to work and film and learn at the same time. So this is just what I managed to capture, but let me bring you up to speed on my journey with renovating a bus and having no idea how to do it in the first place, because I don't think you need to. I think you can do whatever you want. I bought this bus in November and I started working on it in January, right after I posted the I bought a bus video. While I am fortunate enough to have enough money to do a bus build, I do not have a lot of money. I actually got this bus off of Facebook Marketplace for $3,800. Now, that's a great deal, but that being said, if you pay $3,800 for something, you're gonna get a $3,800 bus. I didn't want to lose the bus to another buyer, so I kind of just went ahead and pulled the trigger on the sale. So with that being said, there are some risks to purchasing a bus for that cheap based on just what you can physically see. When I did purchase the bus, I did go under it. I did check out the rust, and there was enough rust that you would expect that comes with a $3,800 bus, but I didn't have the budget to pay $3,000 to $4,000 more to get a rust-free bus. So right after I filmed my first video where I had just purchased the bus, then became demolition. By far my favorite process I've been through with this bus build so far was the satisfaction of ripping things out. I just got to rip up old carpet, shred off the walls, rip off boards, smash through bolts and take seats out. The hardest part of the demolition was removing the wheelchair ramp. I actually want to see if I can sell or donate this hydraulic wheelchair ramp. And in order to do that, I had to keep it in good condition and not destroy it when ripping it out. So I read a manual on it and I learned how to disconnect it, and very painfully lifted this 500-pound ramp out of my bus while pouring hydraulic fluid all over our driveway. But it's disconnected now. And once I got the wheelchair ramp out, I continued to rip out things. Although I was aware that there was rust under this bus, rhymed. This bus is from 2006. It was cheap. And you can gauge how much rust a bus has underneath it. Obviously you can look at it, but there is no way you can anticipate the interior rust. Yeah, So that took a month to do by myself. Sanding, grinding, scraping rust off of the metal structure of the walls. Cleaning rust was a bit of a learning curve for me. I basically figured, yeah, get the rust off, chemically treat it if I can kill it, and then seal it, makes sense. So it was very easy for me to find what products I needed, just with a quick Google search and a couple video tutorials. Once I got down to as little rust as I possibly could, I'd seal it with rust reformer spray. What this does is it seals the rust in, and not only does it seal it off, it is a rust reformer, so think of rust as a cancer. Once this touches it, it kills its cancerous properties, it keeps it from spreading. So I'm trying to do things in the best order that I can, but I have to cover my ground. So while treating the rust on the walls, I popped out every single window and replaced the sealants with $200 worth of rubber from a band manufacturing company that took a month to deliver. And it rained the next day and there's still 2 leaks in my bus. So $3,800, I don't know what to say. I wanted to save the wood that was in the floor because the price of wood has gone up 200%. In the past year due to the pandemic. I don't know if it's home project renovations, but yeah. So I was trying to save the floor, but it quickly became clear to me that I could not. If I wanted to get to the metal underneath it, I had to rip it out very forcefully and very brutally because it was glued to the metal, and the metal was rusting. I didn't know how much, but I knew it was, and so I had to rip off all of the rotten wood. Now, what I found underneath the wood, you know, what am I supposed to say? So, the floor was a beast. I spent about a month doing it. I did the same process for the floor that I did for the walls, except for the metal that is slightly underneath the frame, that is more exposed to the elements and is going to be underneath my subfloor. I treated that the same way, but then I covered it with a slightly different one that is a 2-in-1 reform and seal, but it is rubberized, so water and stuff just rolls right off of it. It's going to be a little bit better for metal that is facing the outdoor elements. This has been grinded, sanded, and chemically treated, all of this. All of that and all of that. And a lot of it was also spent on it last night, hitting it with a hammer and breaking off extra pieces. I even busted through the floor over there. But I'm about to get this all done. Gonna seal it up and move on to right here. The goal is to get all the way to here today, but if I dream big, maybe all of it. You know, there's some pieces of the metal in this bus that I know should be like removed and new pieces welded in. That is a financial luxury I don't have. So the best I can do is knock out as much metal that has completely rusted through, treat what I can, and seal in and drill in other metal pieces to reinforce metal that has broken and shattered through. It's not perfect, but it's efficient, and I want everything covered. I don't want to build my home on top of a crumbling infrastructure, trust me, but I'm doing what I can with what I have.
Everybody's chasing something, 'cause they don't know they're chasing someone. The more I live, I am convinced everyone just wants to be in love.
The height of this bus with everything ripped out of it is about 6'3". I'm 5'8", thankfully, but I'd like to keep as much headspace as possible. Now, it's very common in bus builds to insulate the floor, but I have chosen not to. I will be insulating everything else, the walls, the ceiling, everything, but in order to preserve the height of the bus as much as I can, I'm not going to be insulating my floor. That would take away about another inch of height that I don't want to lose. So I've got 3/4 inch AC2 treated plywood that I used for my subfloor. My incredibly talented boyfriend helped me. I did some measurements and we made this floor plan. Basically, we had to get the best use out of the 3 pieces of wood I could afford to purchase, and we had to make them fit exact in the biggest way they could. And then I have another piece of wood going on top of it that will be covering these tracks that are built into the floor. This one went in nice.
Can you get an idea of your headroom now? Although you're going to lose another quarter of an inch. Oh, la, oh, la. Has this even been in here yet?
No.
Oh, okay.
Moment of Oklahoma truth.
Hey, went in.
Oh,
That's acceptable. That's a little far. It's not terrible.
Here, have time on Oklahoma.
Oklahoma! The seams of the wood that is going on top of my plywood cannot be the same. They can't just stack. They have to go differently. So we made a second floor plan so these can go on top of each other with none of the seams ever crossing. And then on top of this thin wood that is on top of the plywood, I will be building my actual floor. It's not a picture.
Is that one?
Oh, it's a movie?
Yes.
Oh, sorry.
Hollywood.
It's a movie. A movie.
Because I'm working off of my income, I'm very much spending as I go. So I have to be very careful about what order I do this build in and what I can afford. And I don't want to ever buy something that is so big that I can't afford pieces for the next step because I overshot. So that being said, the next steps will be insulation on the walls, and then I'm gonna go right into electric and plumbing. I basically have this floor plan, you'll see right here. It's not set in stone, I still have to fit the refrigerator in it. I have an area for my cats that are gonna be living with me. I have to like put their litter box inside a shelf. I'm designing my computer station because I have a full-time job. I'm gonna have to be able to work on the road. It's gonna be very important that I'm able to power a computer. So basically what's coming up next is insulation, plumbing, electric, me breaking a bunch of things, breaking down, crying, and in the end hopefully ending up with something that has a full-size bed in it, a computer desk station, a small kitchen, and a shower, and a toilet. I'm aiming for it all. I only have 12 feet by 6.5 of space. But hey, just as big as my studio apartment in LA, right? I may not know what I'm doing, but like I said, I'm gonna do it anyways. And there's resources on the internet. Anything that I get stuck on, I can find online. I can figure it out. People before me have done it. And it's gonna be fine. So if you'd like to provide any advice for me in the comments, all advice is welcome. Every time I post a bus update, I want there to be enough footage in it for it to matter, enough time has passed, that enough has happened, and honestly, it took me like 2 months to grind Rust, and I did not think anybody wanted an update on that. The next video will probably come sooner. It will have a lot more since I've now got the ball rolling, I'm through the disgusting part, and I'm ready to do this. It'd be really cool if I could hit 1,000 subscribers just because it unlocks the feature where you can update people in your feed, like with text posts on what's going on, and I'd love to be able to update people more frequently on this bus build without having to post an entire video. But it'd be great to just stay in touch with everybody. Follow me on Instagram if you want. I'm very active on there. Just knowing that anyone is watching means a lot. So cliche stuff here, but like subscribe if you'd like to keep watching these bus updates and see where I end up by the end of the year. I don't know. I still don't know. Like I said in January, I don't know what's going on, and I still don't know what's going on. I'm moving back to California, I guess, for sure. I'm going to live in this bus, I'm pretty sure. I'm just pretty sure about a lot of things, but also nothing at the same time. Does that make sense?